So have you seen the viral video of Houston police officers shooting a woman in her friend's home, mistaking her for an intruder?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, so this is one of the most viral videos out right now. It's going everywhere of this shooting. But before I get to it, I got to give you the context. So the police were called to the Pines of Woodforest apartments, right, around 2 a.m. Now, they had got a call from a woman saying that there was an intruder in her home. So they get there, they search the home, they don't find anything. Now, as they're coming out of her home, another person walks up to them and is like, hey, it looks like somebody broke into this house or this apartment in the same apartment complex. So they go over there to check it out. And so they get there, and then this is what happens.
Newly released body camera footage shows the two responding deputies knocking and announcing their presence at the door.
Now, you can't see it, but when they get there, there is a broken window, right? And these are big windows that come all the way to the ground. So there's a broken window, and they can kind of see into the apartment.
But guest Ebony Pouncey says she didn't hear them and grabbed her gun for protection. A deputy says she saw Pouncey walking to the door with a gun in hand. Then the deputy shot at Pouncey multiple times, wounding her.
When Ebony was shot, I was not going to come outside. It took a while to come out because, of course, I was scared. I was thinking I was going to die. I was going to be next. I was going to get shot up next. That's all I could think. I was thinking I wasn't going to see my son again.
Now, after they shot her, they eventually, kind of ran out of bullets. So they had to stop. They literally lit the entire place up. Now, again, this was that young woman's friend. She had came to the door because they thought that it was probably, they live in not nice, so good neighborhood. They came to the door of the gun thinking something was wrong. The police see the gun and immediately just start shooting. And then after that, they have video of them basically telling her to come down, walk down after they had shot her.
Out of Barry's apartment on Uvalde Road and broke a window to get inside.
I live here, please don't shoot.
A neighbor believed it was an actual break-in and called police.
So she was shot 5 times. Unfortunately, nothing serious was hit, so she was able to survive. This is a recent interview of her talking about the situation.
Okay.
It's pretty heartbreaking for her to talk about it.
I'm traumatized. I'm heartbroken. I feel stripped of my identity, and I would like for them to not just be placed on administrative leave. I don't think they deserve to have badges. I don't think protocol was followed that night or morning. I have a baby, a beautiful baby girl. She knows that I'm not able to do the things I was able to do before, and I'm not able to be as attentive with my baby. She's only 1. So that's probably the hardest part. I started seeing holes in the walls as I was standing there. And then I realized there was something coming through the apartment. I thought it was something outside, but it was something coming from outside to inside. I see blood, not necessarily wounds. I see blood everywhere.
I know it's hard, but you speaking up really matters.
That's a very hard thing to watch.
Extremely.
She has obvious PTSD. She looks terrified even when she's recounting the story. It's like she's right back in that moment. I don't know. I just think it's just a terrible situation. And I don't think that I think that whoever started shooting first, that's the person that should lose their job.
I 100% agree. And if the audio and the video matches up like we just saw, there was no put the weapon down. I didn't see anything.
Well, they screamed as they started shooting. So it's like you can't even hear the commands because you're shooting at me.
The crazy thing about this is when these incidents happen, very rarely is there a survivor. Mm-hmm. So people don't get to talk about the fact that, Breonna Taylor didn't get to talk about the fact that this is what happened. This is how it happened. A lot of people, they never get this opportunity. And as horrible as this is, I can't imagine. You think there's an intruder at the door. It's 2:00 in the morning. And then all of a sudden you're being shot.
Yeah.
It is like she said, she's heartbroken. It's heartbreaking watching that video, seeing them they're just unloading on her. And not to defend the police officers, but to give more context. So when they got there again, there was a broken window, right?
the women had broken the window themselves because the person whose apartment it was, she had left her keys inside, I guess, or left her keys somewhere she didn't have access. So they broke the window just to get in. And I think they had just only gotten there. And so, again, the police knock on the door. She walks to the door holding the gun. And as soon as they see it, they go into, ready to go to war mode. And look, I understand that it's a deadly weapon. I understand that this could be, a scary situation. And I don't ever want to minimize what the cops have to deal with because they don't know going into this what's happening. They only have a few seconds to react and their lives are on the line too. You know what I'm saying? So to be fair, to get some, to talk to the other side of it. But I feel like without ever even giving a solid command and, giving it a couple of seconds to
something.
Yeah, because under any other circumstances, this person can be lawfully holding this weapon. It's not an illegal gun. It wasn't illegal for her to have it. She's in, a residence. She has a firearm. You have no reason to believe that she has, other than a broken window. But you have no reason to believe that she is going to hurt anyone or anything. She's just holding it. So,
It also takes me back to people that make these phone calls that also aren't sure what's going on, if someone is where they're supposed to be or not. I've heard so many stories like this where people get shot and the person that called 911, they weren't really sure whether a person was supposed to be there or not. So they're making a call like something looks wrong and then it happens like this and the police got it all the way wrong. For me, I wonder, do those people ever feel like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have called the police or maybe I should have known more about what I was talking about?
Well, in this situation, I think they were just trying to be a good neighbor. Think about it. You're in an apartment complex. You see your next door neighbor's window was busted. You see a couple cops.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's understandable.
I don't think that they were trying to be nosy or nothing. It's just and again, I know this area of Houston, it's not one of the nicer areas. So, you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, matter of fact, whenever you see those big apartment windows like that in the city, you probably the best.
You already know.
Nah, because, and that's kind of like if you live in an apartment like that, that's one of your bigger fears. It's because it's no wall here. It's literally a wall-sized window that goes all the way to the ground. So those usually
so maybe I need to put that into perspective.
Exactly.
This is a
lower end neighborhood. Apartment complex. It's in a, what's it called? A financially... what's the word?
Income-based or income-restricted or something like that?
It may be income-restricted apartment. I'm not sure if they are those particular apartments, but they are definitely not, again, one of the nicer places to stay. So, but yeah, so again, I think it's terrible. I do think that the cops could have done a better job. But I also understand that it's a very scary situation for them too. You think at this point this is a break-in, and then you see somebody walking towards you with a gun in their hand. I just wish that they would have given it a few more seconds, get those commands out, because it sounds like they got so scared so fast, they started screaming and shooting, and no one's going to hear you behind the door.
That's another thing. It's a lot of scared police officers out there.
They have a scary job. In 1 second, your life could be over. You know what I'm saying? You pull the wrong guy. I understand their fear. My only thing is, if that's the case, then you probably shouldn't be doing this job. If it's to that level.
That's the point that I was making, is that you have police out here that are scary like that don't know how to take a moment or assess a situation outside of let's shoot. Because back to your point, it's legal for her to have that gun. You know what I'm saying? And it isn't a problem until the police see it as a threat. And I get that, but there has to be, to me, there should be some other way, some better way than somebody getting shot up and then explaining hey, well, this is what happened.
Exactly. And those police officers have not been charged. And so that's my whole thing is I do feel, I'm gonna change my opinion. No, they should lose their jobs. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if she had accidentally shot them, she'd be in jail.
She'd be dead, but
Facts.
we can say jail.
But if she would have thought that they were intruders, don't matter. She going to jail. So at the very least, they shouldn't be able to be cops anymore.
I agree.
It's too big of a mistake. I'm sorry.
I agree. I'm just grateful she's able to tell her story.
We all make mistakes, but You don't get like if you're not gonna charge them, I know they're gonna have to pay a hefty sum, but yeah, you don't get to work here no more. That's crazy.